Welcome, everybody, to Cinema Royale. I am Travis Hobson of PunchDrunkCritics.com. And as you can see from the background behind me, we are talking Thor, Love and Thunder. I remember being there in Hall H. It was 3 years ago. That was the last time.
Just before COVID, eh?
Yeah, it was the last time before COVID. The last time Marvel had a big panel there, and they made the announcement for Thor, Love and Thunder. Natalie Portman came out, held the hammer up in the air and everything, and now 3 years later, the movie is here, and Comic-Con is just a couple of weeks away. And
I remember when they announced that would be like the release date of like 2022, and I was like, fuck, it's forever.
Yeah, I know, right? It felt like it was going to be like a long ass time, but and I don't know. Well, we're here now. So that voice you're hearing and seeing his face right there is Chris Bumbray of Jobo.com, my buddy. Who's also going to be coming to Comic-Con. I can't keep my mouth shut. No, it's cool, man. And you're coming to Comic-Con. Is this your first time at Comic-Con?
Yeah, it'll be my first time. Yeah.
That's going to be fun. I'm hoping that we can find some cool shit to get into out there. There's a lot of ways to get in trouble out there.
Yeah, man. San Diego.
There's usually some like cool hidden screenings around and stuff, and parties, and you get invited.
Yeah, I know that there's like something for Lord of the Rings on the Thursday, and then they're showing Predator. Well, I'm seeing Prey, I think, next week because they're doing stuff there for Prey, and yeah.
If they're doing anything for Prey there, I need to be there for it. If you have any emails about Prey at Comic-Con, you need to let me know. You need to tell me about it.
Nothing. I can say nothing.
I'll hold it against you if you do not. All right, let's
we'll talk off air.
All right, yeah, let's talk Thor, Love and Thunder. And this movie, a lot of people are looking forward to this one because it's the return of Natalie Portman, her Jane Foster character. But Jane is now a Thor of her own. She is the mighty Thor. And following along with the comic book storyline, Jane is suffering from these would be minor spoilers, but if you know the storyline already, they're not exactly hidden. She's suffering from terminal cancer, and she becomes empowered by the power of Mjolnir and gains the power of Thor, which she uses to become a superhero for a while. And she helps Thor and Valkyrie fight Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, a villain who is seeking to destroy all gods throughout the universe. Chris, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, because I actually don't know your thoughts on this.
Well, it's funny because, I'm very hit and miss on Marvel these days. Like I find that there's just so much fatigue has set in. And I've always kind of maintained that I was just a little bit outside of their wheelhouse. Like I feel like if I was 10, 15 years younger, these would be like my favorites. And I think it's different for people my age that are really tied into comic books, because I'm not really tied into comic books. And I think that most of the people are my age that love it is because they're huge comic book fans. But for me, I was never like a reader of the comics. I'm just gonna adjust my camera there so it's a little bit better. And the thing is, so I go movie by movie, right? And depending on if I find it entertaining or not. And I didn't like Eternals. I thought Doctor Strange was really Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought it was really overrated. I've hated all the Disney Plus shows. That said, I really liked Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought it was really fun. But to me, it felt like the least Marvel-ish of the recent Marvel movies, and I think that's probably why I liked it, because it was just kind of Taika Waititi madness. And I think that it's probably going to polarize fans, because there's a lot of things about this movie that they're probably not going to like. The fact is, it's not super serious. It's very fast and loose with kind of the format. And it's probably like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but probably like the gayest Marvel movie ever in some ways, right? Where it's got, a couple of characters, and I thought that was great. There are some people that are going to be, upset with that, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. I can already tell by like the comments. I loved it though. I really liked it. And I loved the romance with Jane Foster. I thought that was great. I thought it was well done. I like Taika Waititi a lot. I'm not like some other people that think he's this unassailable genius. I think he's a good director, not an amazing director.
I definitely don't feel that way about him. I like this film.
Me too.
But for a long time, I was probably like you, which is odd because I grew up on Marvel Comics and I still read the Marvel Comics. But the movies, for a very long time, I was kind of like, yeah, they're fine. You know, and I never really.
That's how I feel. That's totally how I
feel. The way you feel now is the way I used to be. And I was like, yeah, they're fine. And then I reached a point probably around, you know, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, where they started to like really get great to me. Like, wow, these are really fucking good. Like almost all of them are really good. And the last couple Marvel movies, I think have been pretty goddamn great. Like I love Spider-Man No Way Home, and I really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness. And I loved Thor Ragnarok because it was so different than the first two Thor movies, which are very forgettable. But this one I feel like has fallen back into the kind of forgettable camp.
Well, I see. It's funny. A lot of people seem to feel that way, though. I was surprised at how kind of polarized the reviews were. I thought that people would walk out and loved it, but I was surprised. It seems they don't really.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
And I feel like it could be partially because the last two movies have felt like they were so integral to the MCU. This one does not. Like this one feels like it's really sort of off on its own. Like it was given to Taika Waititi and somebody said, have a ball. And that's what he did. And in most cases, I'm fine with that. I like Taika Waititi, but as I said in my review, I was not a fan of his until like Hunt for the Wilder People. Like, and I was like, and then he like kind of got on a roll of things that I liked, like, you know, well, Thor Ragnarok, basically, you know. So, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this guy. And then his various appearances and things from since then, he's done things that I've liked. This one felt like it was so Waititi. It reminded me of the early stuff from him that I didn't like. And it was like, there were times where I felt like he was forcing some humor in there. In particular for Korg, which is, you know, a character that he basically wrote for himself and wrote a bigger role for himself in. And Korg was not funny to me in this movie at all. So I was kind of like, yeah, this is good, but I also feel like it's a little too much Waititi for me.
See, I really liked it. And I loved the whole montage to ABBA, and
that was great.
Well, we can't really get into spoilers, but I don't know. I really did enjoy it.
But everybody knows that Thor and Jane broke up. The movie goes back through that, and yes, it's set to happen. So,
but I mean, I liked Bale, although I don't think it's necessarily a great villain. I think people were really excited when they found out that Bale was attached. But I mean, the Marvel villains are never great, except for maybe, you know, Josh Brolin in Avengers.
Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger is great.
Yeah, sure. I would say he's probably at least top 5, but probably top 2, really. But you know, but the thing is, you know, it's the same thing. Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok wasn't particularly memorable either. You know, but I loved Hemsworth in it. I thought he was having a ball, and I really liked Natalie Portman. I liked the chemistry.
I feel like I was going to say, I feel like they have the chemistry in this that they never had in the first
one. Big time. Yeah, 100%. Because I never felt that the two of them really belonged together in the other movies. But she looked great in this. I loved her biceps.
Dude, she's strong as hell, man. She got bigger arms than me.
Yeah, she looked tight. And
she definitely went on a Hemsworth workout plan for this movie.
I thought that Tessa Thompson was strangely underused, though.
Yeah, her character really felt. I saw like she was sort of on the periphery or something. It was something. There was something odd about her that she didn't really make much sense. Like I don't feel like she needed to be in the movie. Really.
No.
Or at least they could have stopped. Like they could have stopped at New Asgard, but she didn't need to come on the journey. You know, that's kind of the way it felt, and it felt like they didn't really have anything for her to do, for her character to do on the journey, other than to just, you know, it's Tessa Thompson. We should probably keep her around.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that is the rationale to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think they would have done more with Valkyrie, considering where they left her the last time, and considering everything that they've talked about quite a lot in between, you know, Valkyrie's sexuality and all that sort of stuff. They didn't really do much, though. Like, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's all just kind of lip service at this point, you know, like to some extent, you know, even, you know, Disney's attempts at diversity, I always thought rang a little bit hollow to me, just because it always seems like stuff that they could very easily cut out of the international cuts of their movies at some point, you know, like, and I think they tried to kind of elevate it a little bit with this one, but even still, I mean, you know, it's nothing. It's stuff that'll go way over people's heads, you know. And the whole thing about her being pansexual, I mean, they don't really get into that here. Although, I mean, who cares? I didn't really care.
I feel like all the gods are pansexual.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're all. Yeah. I mean,
I have no doubt that they'll have Thor have dated some guy in the past or something. I have no doubt.
Who knows? I mean, I feel like Waititi in some ways was trying to make a movie that he was like kind of like, oh yeah, look,
Yeah,
we're gonna make like the most like experimental Marvel movie ever. But I think at the end it is kind of conservative. I think he's reined in to a certain extent by Marvel, but there's a lot of his kind of trademark goofy humor, and I like his goofy humor. I mean, I love What We Do in the Shadows and stuff like that. Like I like old Taika Waititi, so I think the movie for me just went down much easier, I think, than some other Marvel movies but it seems I'm in the minority on this one though, because people are not enjoying it as much.
I think I think ultimately people are going to like it too.
Oh, I think they'll like it. I
don't
think it'll be like a highlight for people.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem as if I don't like it. I'm going to see it again this weekend. So I mean, I like it enough to see it twice. I just don't think it's like upper echelon Marvel for me. But it's.
I haven't seen a Marvel movie twice since the first Iron Man.
I've seen some of them like multiple times.
I mean, yeah, great.
Listen, I definitely.
I'd be curious to.
I've seen Black Panther like 4 times in the movie theater.
I'd be curious to revisit.
I've seen more. I think was Rogue One, which I saw 5 times.
Really?
And then the Brothers Bloom, which I've seen I think 6 times.
Oh wow, I remember you told me you're like a massive fan of that movie. Yeah.
Oh, but you have no idea how much I love that movie.
Oh well, we got to do a revisited episode for that, and you can do it. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually. But what did you think? One of my favorite scenes in the movie has Russell Crowe as Zeus, and and what did you think about him? Because he's clearly having a ball in this.
Yeah, he's having fun. I mean, Russell Crowe's never been funny before, so it was nice to see him as funny. And
are you saying he wasn't funny in A Good Year?
No. Ridley Scott comedy, just what you want to see. No, it was. I mean, House of Gucci was funnier, but he didn't do much for me, to be honest. Like I thought he was fun and he was having a good time, but I think it was ultimately a pretty minor role.
Say again. You're kind of going in and out. Are you?
I just I thought ultimately it was kind of a minor role for him. He didn't do much. Yeah. It was kind of a joke. Like they could get Russell Crowe, so why not?
If you can get Russell Crowe to play Zeus, you get Russell Crowe to play Zeus.
Sure, why not?
I mean, soundtrack, of course, is amazing. I think Waititi, a lot like James Gunn, is fantastic at using a soundtrack to really bolster films and bring it personality.
3 needle drops from Guns N' Roses.
I was going to say that. I think I'm not like an aficionado by any means, but I felt like there was a lot of Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah, and it's all like the hits.
Now this is really good cuts. There's really good stuff. Now, where do you think? Because do you think this solo Thor franchise continues on after this?
Oh yeah. I mean, it depends on what the box office is, but I think if the box office is strong, they totally will. Because of all the kind of OG characters, the only one that's still really going is Hemsworth as Thor, right? I mean, I guess you still have Renner as Hawkeye, but I don't think there's much of an appetite to see him in a film. I think Hemsworth is the only like original Marvel star that's still really at it, so he's bankable and he's a movie star in his own right, and they leave the door wide open, of course, at the end. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Thor, and it seems like Hemsworth really embraces the role.
Yeah, I mean, he can't really find a hit movie that doesn't have him dressed up as Thor. So I mean, it's one of those things. He's
got those Netflix movies, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those Netflix movies.
I thought it was interesting that Spiderhead got its ass kicked by Hustle and also by The Man from Toronto.
I don't know anybody that was excited for Spiderhead, and I also don't know very many people who watched it who really liked it. Mm-hmm. So, and I have not seen it, so I can't comment. But something about Hemsworth outside of here where he doesn't seem to be able to. But this is not just him. This is like almost everybody at Marvel. Who when they venture outside of it, they struggle to even have a fraction of the same success. I mean, Chris Evans struggled with that too.
I'm curious to see how the Gray Man turns out, and he's got Ghosted coming up with Ana de Armas. He just signed on for Pain Hustlers, so I mean, he's giving it a go to try and make the most of it as he can. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm seeing the Gray Man next week as well, which I'm oddly not very primed for, to be honest. Like, there's something about it seems very kind of middle of the road to me.
I mean, it has the potential to be, Red Notice or something. Red Notice.
Yeah, and that's always what worries me about a Netflix movie. But then, I'm super psyched to see Bullet Train. Like that looks awesome.
Bullet Train looks fun. Yeah,
the last good Netflix action movie though, like Harder They Fall, I think was the only one that was kind of like cool. Like
Harder They Fall was very cool, and it had that Oscar season buzz because
and it had an interesting director too. I don't know. I mean, the Russo brothers. Let's not forget they did Cherry.
I was just talking with somebody about Cherry the other day, and we were like, "Yeah, it wasn't really great, was it?"
No, it wasn't. And it's interesting that Waititi has maybe another movie coming out this year, Next Goal Wins, that was oddly enough shot before Love and Thunder. Yeah, it's been on the shelf for ages.
Yeah, I mean, why so long? I don't understand.
Army Hammer.
Huh?
Army Hammer.
Oh, yeah, the Army Hammer thing. Army Hammer is in it, yes, but
not anymore.
Did they cut him out? Oh, that's right. They replaced him with was it
Will Arnett? They reshot his role.
Yeah, that's right. They replaced Will Arnett. Yeah,
they said he wasn't available for reshoots. Sure. Yep, that's right. Yeah,
I know. I'm sure he's super busy right now.
Yeah. He wasn't available. Too many jobs. Yeah, sure. For reshoots with Taika Waititi. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just crap. As excited as I am for Bullet Train, we were just talking about that. As long as as excited as I am for it, I'm also fearful, especially coming out of what Ambulance failed to do. Like, I'm worried about these like action movies on the big screen now that people aren't going out and seeing.
I'm worried about it too, to be honest, because if it comes out and it flops, that's going to be a big black eye to the action.
You and I are really big action fans, obviously, and we want to see that genre succeed. You and I need to start our own canon group.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking about that. It would be so cool if like a streamer, Amazon, just started remaking canon movies.
We need to find a money person, and we'll be like, we don't make any movie for more than $10 million, and then that's it.
Yeah, and I was looking at big stars to do it. I was just thinking if they were to remake American Ninja, for me, the perfect guy would be Channing Tatum, like playing it really like dead-eyed, like stone faced. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's funny though. That's one of the issues I have with The Gray Man is that's the kind of movie you think should be going to theaters, and the more we get stuff like that on Netflix, I think the more people are gonna get used to watching it that way. I mean, I think that's exactly what's happened to Lightyear. People are expecting that kind of thing to show up on Disney Plus because they know it will in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And I think that they are getting used to watching certain movies at home. But that said, the huge success of Top Gun kind of has me more optimistic about Bullet Train's success than before because, Brad Pitt is an old school action star. So he might be able to pull in an older audience. And Elvis has done better than I thought it would too. But that's another one I think would do better if people didn't know it was coming on HBO Max in a month,
Yeah, I think those are different because there's known commodity factors involved with those. Whereas, and Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt's great and, and everything, but you tell them Bullet Train, what's it based on? Nobody would know.
I really hope it's a hit. I feel like it's not going to be like a $400 million hit. I think it could be $100 million hit, but we'll see. I mean, I hope it does well enough that people will get excited about doing the action genre again, but it's not looking great for our beloved genre these days, not on the big screen anyway.
We need to talk to some people. Maybe at Comic-Con we'll run into the producer or something.
I mean, the new big action movies that are based on that are originals are all kind of going to Netflix, right? Like Tom Hardy's Gareth Evans movie, like that'll be awesome, but it's a Netflix movie. And then you got like Michael Fassbender and The Killer for David Fincher. That's a Netflix movie as well. So it's all kind of heading that way, I think, to some extent.
Yeah, which is kind of
it's too bad.
It is a shame. Yeah, it is a shame. But who knows? Maybe if Bullet Train is a hit, we'll finally get Brad Pitt in a Marvel movie as well or something. I
mean, it's from the John Wick guys, and I feel like they've got a good kind of vibe on how to make these movies profitable and do them well. It's funny though, they're behind so much now though, and they're doing a lot of streaming stuff too, like Daywatch, that Jamie Foxx movie is from them as well.
Yep.
And it looks cool. I mean, I saw some footage from it. It looks amazing. And then they've got Violent Night with David Harbour, the Santa Claus movie. That's a theater movie. That's theatrical.
Going back to Thor, what did you think of Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher? And not necessarily the character, because in terms of like the character itself, I think Gore the God Butcher is one of the best ideas for a villain that Marvel's come up with. Like even on the page and on the screen, he's great too. He's a great idea that I wish they could have done more with. My thought about him was that I wish he had a movie that he could be the main, the main point of the plot, rather than having the Natalie Portman thing too, because the movie was really about him and her, about Thor and Jane, and not so much about Gore.
I mean,
he
I think that
a movie that was solely for him, where Thor's not sidetracked.
You could do that, you know, and you could also have cast Bale in the role, because I mean, I think Bale, the thing about him is he never phones it in, right? You know, he always goes all.
Oh no, he's great in the role. He gives everything to it.
But yeah, I think you're probably right. Like, there's not. He does feel like kind of a side note in the movie. Like, it's, you know how there's always the A plot, the B plot, and the C plot. You know, I feel like he's the B plot the entire movie when he should be the A plot. You know, because the A plot is Thor and Jane, the B plot is Gore, and then the C plot is probably like Valkyrie and Korg's adventures. You know,
yeah,
and he's kind of just above C. You know, so it probably should have had more. You know, but I did like the fact that they tried to give him pathos, and I think that Bale, you know, was in great shape for the role. I mean, I haven't seen him look like that since The Dark Knight. You know, I always hear though he's a method actor. I kept looking at his eye throughout the entire movie because
looked like he lost a bunch of weight for this one again too.
Well, and he's in this movie Amsterdam, and in the movie his character has one eye, wears a glass eye. And I kept looking at his eye in this one. I wanted to see if he dug out his eye to put in like a fake eye, because you never know with Christian Bale, right? And I think that's why he's so thin in it, because he lost a ton of weight for Amsterdam, and it was shot before Thor: Love and Thunder. So I kept watching his eye. I'm like, is that real eye? Did he take it out?
Did he dig out his eye?
Yeah, who knows with him? I mean, you know,
you never know.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, post-credit scene. Of course, you all know that there is one. What do you think about that casting choice?
I thought it was cool. I told Laura about it, and that made her want to see the movie, because she loves that guy who suddenly seems like that person is getting a huge push now.
Yes.
So yeah, and he's
and
great.
I'll admit, because I knew that character had to show up at some point. Like, I just knew, but I had no idea who they could possibly get to play him, and this was a surprise.
Yeah, that is a great actor. So yeah.
You get, and all of you wondering who the hell we're talking about, you'll have to.
But this actor kind of is having a moment right now, it seems. So
yeah, I agree,
and well deserved.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Anyway, all right, man. Well, Chris Bumbray, JoeBlow.com, sort of my boss over there.
I mean, Travis, we just put up a video with Travis's voice on it the other day. It's the two, actually. It was gone. We did Airwolf, and then something else went up with your voice too. And I think We Remember goes up soon too. It's tons of stuff.
And I just recorded one for Tony Scott. So
it's the Travis Hobson channel.
Yeah, I know. And I just got another one sent to me this morning. So it's like,
and all
right, you guys, give me a break.
Yeah.
Chris Bumbray, JoeBlow.com, also my homie on the Critics' Choice Super Awards. Thank you for joining me for Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm Travis Hobson, PunchdrunkCritics.com. You can find me on social media on Twitter at Punchy Critic. You can find Punch Drunk Critics there as well at PDC Movies. You can find us everywhere, and you can find Cinema Royale anywhere that you get your podcasts. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you next time. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.